When a narcissist can't control you, they try these 5 tricks. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm really glad to have you here with me today. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss any of our content. Today's topic is super important, and I think it'll resonate with a lot of people. We're going to talk about narcissists and the lengths they go to where they feel like they've lost control over you. This is something that happens more often than we might think, so buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into it. So, you've finally broken free from the narcissist's hold. Maybe you've stopped feeding into their manipulative games, or started seeing through their charm and lies. You've reclaimed your sense of self, and they hate it. This is the point where the narcissist, instead of simply moving on, tries to find new ways to claw back the control they've lost. And the truth is, they have a bag full of tricks they use to try and keep you under their influence. One thing that narcissists thrive on is control. It's like their lifeline. As long as they can dominate someone's emotions, thoughts, and actions, they feel powerful and validated. But the moment they sense that control slipping away, that's when things start getting interesting. And by interesting, I mean borderline crazy. They might even ramp up their manipulative tactics because, for them, losing control over you feels like losing a part of themselves. They start acting out in ways that are pretty predictable if you know what to look for, but they're no less damaging because of it. It's like they go through a checklist of tactics just to see which one will work. Let's break this down so we can spot these tricks before they drag us back into their twisted little games. One of the first things they'll try to do when they lose control is shift blame. Narcissists are masters at avoiding accountability. Nothing is ever their fault. If they feel like you're slipping away, or they're no longer able to manipulate you, they'll suddenly flip the script. Suddenly, everything that's gone wrong in the relationship or dynamic is because of you. You'll hear things like, "You're being too sensitive," or "You're blowing things out of proportion." They'll make you feel like you're the problem, even when they're the ones behaving badly. And when they can't control you, this tactic ramps up to an unbearable degree. The goal here is to make you doubt yourself, to question whether you're really the one causing all the issues, and to slowly pull you back under their control by distorting your reality. Another trick they pull out is playing the victim. This is particularly tricky because it tugs at your empathy. Narcissists know how to twist a narrative to make themselves look like the innocent party who's been wronged. You'll suddenly hear about how they're the real victims in all of this. They might talk about how much they've done for you, how much they sacrificed, and how you've repaid them with betrayal. They'll cry, play on your emotions, and make you feel guilty for even thinking about stepping away from their influence. This isn't an apology, though. It's never about acknowledging their own faults. It's always about making you feel like the bad guy. It's emotional blackmail, plain and simple. And speaking of emotional blackmail, that brings us to the third trick they often use: love bombing. This is where things can get really confusing. When a narcissist senses they're losing their grip on you, they'll suddenly start showering you with attention, compliments, and gifts. It's like they've done a complete 180, and now they're the perfect partner, friend, or family member. They'll remind you of all the good times, talk about how much they care about you, and make big promises for the future. The reason this works so well is because, deep down, we want to believe that people can change, that maybe they've finally seen the light. But don't be fooled. This is just another trick to reel you back in. The moment they've got you back under their thumb, the love bombing stops, and the old behaviors return. It's a cycle, and it's important to recognize it for what it is: manipulation. Then there's the smear campaign. If they can't control you directly, They'll try to control the way other people see you. Narcissists hate losing control, not just over you, but also over the narrative. So when you stop playing their game, they'll start spreading lies and rumors about you to anyone who will listen. They'll try to ruin your reputation, make you look like the crazy one, and paint themselves as the victim. This is their way of isolating you. If they can't get to you directly, they'll turn others against you so that you feel cornered, alone, and maybe even desperate enough to go back to them. It's a nasty tactic, and it can be incredibly damaging to your relationships and mental health. Finally, there's gaslighting. This is probably one of the most insidious tricks they use. When a narcissist loses control, they'll start messing with your perception of reality. They'll deny things that they've said or done, even when you know for a fact that they happened. They'll tell you that you're remembering things wrong, that you're imagining things, or that you're being irrational. Over time, this kind of manipulation can make you question your own sanity. You start doubting your memory, your feelings, and even your judgment. It's all part of their plan to regain control by making you feel like you can't trust yourself anymore. And once they've got you doubting yourself, it's much easier for them to step back in and start pulling the strings again. But here's the thing. Once you're aware of these tricks, they lose their power. It's not easy, I know. Narcissists are skilled manipulators, and their tactics can be really effective, especially if you've been caught in their web for a long time. But awareness is the first step toward breaking free. When you know what to look for, you can start to recognize the patterns and refuse to play their games. And the more you resist, the weaker their grip becomes. They might try every trick in the book, but once you've taken back your power, there's nothing they can do to control you anymore. And that's the real key here, taking back your power. Narcissists thrive on control, but that control only works if we let it. When we start setting boundaries, trusting our instincts, and refusing to engage with their manipulative tactics, we're reclaiming our power and taking away theirs. It's not an easy process, but it's absolutely worth it. Alright, folks, that's it for today's video. I really hope this was helpful and gave you some insight into what goes on when a narcissist feels like they're losing control. If you enjoyed this video, or if you think it could help someone else, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. This is narcissists' worst sin, and they will never be forgiven. They will suffer terrible pain in hell. Being entangled in a relationship with a narcissist, characterized by grandiosity, lack of empathy, and an insatiable need for admiration, can have severe consequences. Victims of narcissistic abuse often endure profound emotional trauma, leaving them disoriented, wounded, and unable to move forward. The impact on their mental and emotional well-being can be devastating, taking years to heal and recover. One of the greatest challenges in relationships with narcissists is the inherent unfairness. Rather than taking responsibility for their actions, narcissists habitually shift the blame onto others. They employ deception and gaslighting to distort their victims' perception of reality, leading to confusion and self-doubt. This manipulation intensifies the emotional suffering inflicted upon the victim, leaving them bewildered and disempowered. Narcissists exhibit a callous disregard for their victims, swiftly discarding them without any concern or consideration. Victims are left grappling with the shock and pain of being discarded and treated as disposable. Narcissists view others as mere tools or objects to serve their self-serving motives. This callous indifference towards others is repulsive and difficult to comprehend. In our discussion, we will delve into the 7 destructive behaviors of narcissists and how they justify their harmful actions. If you wish to stay informed and continue the conversation, kindly click the subscribe button to receive updates. By doing so, you contribute to raising awareness and fostering ongoing dialogue around this important topic. Number 1. Emotional vampire. Narcissists are the quintessential emotional vampires, mercilessly feeding off your humanity, integrity, and capacity as a thinking, feeling individual. They revel in the power trip of bullying and intimidating others, deriving satisfaction from exerting control and inflicting abuse. But at what cost? Is sacrificing your very life worth appeasing their insatiable thirst for dominance? Reflect on what you lose in this toxic dynamic. Your ability to think clearly, differentiate between reality and illusion, and process new information slips away. Your perspective becomes distorted, and your mental state undergoes a profound shift. Losing sight of your true identity becomes inevitable, but to the narcissist, this is of no consequence. They care nothing for the devastation they cause. Their sole focus is on feeding their insatiable desires for power and material possessions. Number 2. Gaslighting. Another form of narcissistic abuse is extreme gaslighting. Narcissists distort everything you share with them, your thoughts, feelings, and perceptions, for the sole purpose of controlling the narrative. By manipulating your truth, they coerce you into conforming to their will, persuading you to engage in actions you would otherwise reject, and convincing you to accept what you would not normally tolerate. Their suffocating psychic energy envelops you, reshaping and warping your understanding of yourself, them, reality, and the world. Ultimately, the narcissist's diabolical objective is to establish complete dependence on your part. Financially and emotionally, they seek to control your every move, all the while shifting blame for their misdeeds onto you and claiming credit for your accomplishments. Allowing another person to dominate your life to the point of self-devaluation, eroding your self-worth, and obliterating your true essence is untenable. It is crucial to break free from the clutches of such manipulation. Reclaim your autonomy, honor your self-worth, and rediscover who you are and what principles guide your existence. Stand firm against those who seek to control your life and refuse to tolerate being treated as anything less than deserving of utmost respect. Number 3. Ignorance. Narcissists possess an uncanny ability to accurately assess their own desires and needs. They recognize that kindness, respect, introspection, and accountability are crucial elements in maintaining healthy relationships. However, their understanding remains superficial. Despite recognizing these requirements, they fail to translate this knowledge into action. They lack the initiative to fulfill these essential qualities independently. Think back to instances where the narcissist expressed concern about the possibility of you leaving the relationship or losing their hold over you. They adjusted their attitude and demeanor to appear more approachable. The puzzling aspect lies in why they did not consistently provide what you needed to sustain the connection. They knew full well that respect, understanding, compassion, presence, intentionality, love, and care were vital for nurturing the relationship. Yet, they intentionally withheld these crucial elements, forcing you to beg for them. Numerous factors contribute to the growth of a healthy relationship, but they deliberately denied you access to everything you explicitly requested. Number 4. A campaign of lies. They started a smear effort when they could no longer get direct control. They kept telling lies even after being caught, which hurt their own reputation. They told you lies on purpose to bring you down, because they were angry and had bad senses. I find it hard to believe that treating these people with respect is more helpful than trying to make them calm down. There may be problems in the relationship, But it's important to let go of the past and give them time to heal. But instead of giving up, they stepped up their efforts. As you fought back against their attempts to directly control you, they looked for outside help for a campaign to hurt your image by spreading lies about you. Your good name was ruined by this effort, and people in your personal life, at work, and with friends no longer trusted you. It was clear that they didn't care about the pain they caused you, because they loved the chance to hurt others. Because they were jealous, angry, or mean, they took advantage of the situation to make themselves feel better about themselves. This kind of behavior is wrong because it leads to more anger, jealousy, and harm. It's important to know that their behaviors are caused by their flaws, not because they think you're worth something. The fifth thing is cheating and betrayal. It is a terrible sin for someone to be having affairs with other people while being in a relationship with you and trying to hide it. When their cheating is found out, they will do anything to explain and deny what they did. But who really gains from the way they trick people? When you try to hold them responsible for betraying you, they gaslight you by calling you ridiculous and putting the blame on you. This behavior comes from not understanding how you feel and not caring about how it makes you feel. It sounds like the actions mentioned come from someone who is not just upset, but bad by nature. I'm not ready or willing to look into the troubled parts of their personality right now. These actions are becoming more and more common, which is very worrying. To commit evil, someone must do things they know are wrong, fully aware of the pain they cause their partner, and instead of taking responsibility, they put the blame on you. What else could it be if not evil? It's hard to think of something worse than that kind of behavior. Their repeated lies and attempts to control you hurt your trustworthiness a lot. Their narcissistic traits destroy the trust that is at the heart of a relationship, making their offense intolerable. They are consistently and methodically dishonest, so you can't trust what they say or what they mean. After taking yourself out of the scenario and facing reality, the lie they told you becomes clear. Everything about the relationship and the events that led to it turns out to be a dream. People often can't trust again after being betrayed in this way. Many people are forever scared when it comes to trust after being betrayed in this way. They can never get over the harm done to them, and it will always affect their ability to trust and believe in others. 6. Abuse of both body and mind. It's true that not all narcissists are violent, but the ones who are can make their victims feel very unsafe, which makes it hard for them to trust others and be around other people. A victim may not be able to get over their fear that their attacker will return to hurt them for years or even decades. They don't feel comfortable in their own skin because the narcissists abused has made them feel bad about themselves. Situations that feel unsafe or places that don't offer a sense of physical safety may set them off. Because I grew up with a selfish parent, I will not stand for any kind of physical abuse. Violence is the same thing as giving up all humanity. Such behavior comes from being angry inside, and it has nothing to do with how good the person is in general. It shows a scary dark side that has nothing to do with people. 7th, taking advantage of people. Narcissists put their own needs ahead of everyone else's and think others are useless. Because they think they are better than others and think they are more important than others, they see people as things they can use to get what they want. Their goals are based on getting something for themselves, whether it's money, pleasure, or something else that feeds their baser desires. Real attention, connection, and empathy don't mean anything to them. They see other people as a way to get what they want, and they lie and manipulate them to get it. They see people as things, which feeds their baser feelings and shows how much they care about themselves and survival. In later episodes, the complicated processes of exploitation will be looked at in more depth. We've come a long way since the last show, and I hope you learned something helpful. Leave your thoughts below, and if you liked it, please click like and tell your friends about it. Come with me in the next part as we talk about the subject in more depth. It's time to get better and heal.